All right, we are going to be making a dream house, and you're going to be designing your own dream house, drawing the front view and the floor plan of this particular house. So one of the ways you can do it is you can separate off your paper, and one section would be the front view, and the rest of it could be the floor plan. A front view is basically if you're driving up to a building or a house and what you see from the front looking in. A floor plan is a bird's eye view. So if this is the shape of my house, when I look straight down, so if I cut the roof off and I look straight down, what would I see? So I would see, walls, really crooked wall. I'd see walls here. You would see doors. You would see furniture, things like that, which I'll go over later. Okay, the front view, because we've been drawing things out somewhat three-dimensional, you can draw out your front view three-dimensional. Now the cool part about this project is even though you're designing a house, I'm going to give you really basic requirements, and then as long as you hit those requirements, you'll get a good grade. So for example, for my front view, I'm going to draw a house, and it can be a realistic looking house, or it can be a not so realistic house. So for example, some people said they want to have an underwater house, or they want to have a tree house, or different things like that. You're completely going to be able to do creatively whatever you'd like with this. Okay, so the front view would have, doors in the trim, windows, all the details. The idea is the more details you add, obviously the better grade you're going to get. So let's say this is the front of my house. Now obviously if this was a final copy, I'd be using a ruler to make sure everything is straight and level and everything. But what I do is I would add in different things. So like maybe I want my house to have siding, so I would draw in my siding. If it was made of brick, I would add, the brick. Any type of material that you plan on using. The other things you want to make sure that you incorporate is you want to show landscape and things around the rest of the house. So do I have trees coming out around the house? Like maybe I have a tree here, and then maybe I have a tree here. I could have a pathway. Maybe this could be my garage. Things like that. So the more details you add, the nicer it's going to be in the end. Now to make it three-dimensional, incorporate just like you did with the abstract city, and you make the edges of it. Does that make sense, kind of? So it'll make it so it looks a little bit more three-dimensional. Now, most people say that when you're looking at a floor plan or you're looking at a drawing, if people don't like what the front view looks like, they're less likely to take the time to look at what the floor plan looks like. So the more interesting and the more detailed you can make the front view, the more people are going to want to look at the floor plan. Now the floor plan, because it's a bird's eye view, if you try to visualize, if you cut the top of the house off and you look straight down. So when you look straight down at the house, like I said, you would see walls. There are windows. Now, when you go online, if you type in floor plan symbols or architectural symbols, it will show you all the different symbols that they have. They have like 8,000 different symbols for a toilet. They have 8 million symbols for doors and different types of doors, whether it's a bifold door or a sliding door or whatever type of door it is. Okay, so you can decide. Now when you're doing this, you want to make sure it's somewhat accurate with this. So with my house, if this is my house, I would have my door would be here, and then I would decide which way do I want the door to open. Do I want to push the door open, or do I want to pull the door open? And usually that's what a door symbol is. There's also one window here, so I would incorporate that. Now, the main requirements for your project is it needs to have somewhere to eat, somewhere to sleep, somewhere to hang out, and somewhere to go to the bathroom. Now, I didn't say it had to have a kitchen. So for example, if you're someplace to eat, if you want to have a Taco Bell drive-through, you can. So for example, if I wanted to have over here, because I love me some Taco Bell. So if I want to have a Taco Bell drive-through, not only would I show where the Taco Bell was, I wouldn't just label it, but I'm going to show what's in there. So for example, I would have to have somewhere to cook my stuff. I would have to have somewhere, so this would be like the burners of a stove. I would need to have something to store it, so like it could be storage. Maybe here it could be, obviously I'd need a window if I was gonna pull up to my own house and do it. I'm gonna probably need a sink somewhere, so I probably would incorporate a sink. So I would look up the symbol for a sink. Maybe I wanna have it so I can dine in at Taco Bell at my own house. So I could put a table and put the symbol for chairs around it, so I have a table and chairs. So the idea is that you have all the different things in your room that you plan on having in your house. Now, once again, one of the things that you need to have is it has to have at least 2 floors and a way to get between them. However, it doesn't have to be stairs it could be an escalator. It could be a water slide. It could be a portal, like a time portal if you want. So you can get as crazy and as imaginative as you want. So for example, I decided I'll probably have to move the door here. This is gonna be an elevator, and I think that's what the symbol for elevator is. So an elevator. Now, the other thing you need to keep in mind is you need to make sure that the house is functional. So when I'm looking at this, would it make sense for me to open a door and walk right into an elevator? Probably not. So maybe what I'll do is I can adjust this. Maybe I'll have it go like this, and I'll put the door here. And I would think that would make more sense. Okay, so the idea is not only are you designing something with all these really cool things in it, but you're making it functional, because a lot of times in houses, I know for mine in particular, we just built a house, and there's a lot of things that they did that I thought was kind of funny. Like for example, when I walk down the stairs, when you have your hand on a handrail, they put the light switch behind the handrail. So unless you shoved your hand down the side of the handrail, you wouldn't be able to flip the switch. So like other, functional things that a lot of times people miss. So like maybe over here could be my bathroom. So I would need to have, a sink, and then the symbol for a toilet. I could have, a cabinet. I could have whatever else I want in here. Some of the other things, living rooms. You can have like a game room, playroom. Some people have like a ball pit as a room. You can have pools, water slides. I mean, the sky's the limit. So you can get as kind of crazy and as creative as you want. Now, if it's going to have 2 floors, I have my first floor here, and then I would do my second floor here, and then I would make another square. And one of the things you need to keep in mind is if my elevator is in one spot, obviously it's going to have to be in the same spot on the second floor, because I'm pretty sure it wouldn't change. So that'd still be my elevator. And then I would go in and I'd incorporate bedrooms, bathrooms, all kinds of different things that I want to add. Now, here's an example. I'm going to show you 2 examples so that you can see kind of what we're going for. So here's one of just a really generic outside of a house, okay? And it has a tree. It's not 3-dimensional. It has a little bit of landscaping, and it's just outlined. Now, the requirements are you don't have to color this project. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. Now, the second part is my floor plan. So I have my floor plan here, and I drew in my furniture, a fireplace, a TV. Those are stairs, a garage, basic stuff. I have a lot of open space, which most houses don't have, just big open empty spaces. And then I went to my second floor, and I incorporated things like bedrooms and bathrooms and closets. And then this is supposed to show that it's open, so like a vaulted ceiling. Now, you're going to be graded on how much detail and how many extra things you have. The basic requirements, if you do just the basic requirements, will give you a C. Okay? So anything above and beyond what I ask is going to help you. So for example, an extra room, adding a garage. Some people like to add in a different view of the house, so maybe like the back view. Other people like to color sections of it, make a key. So there's a whole bunch of different things that you can do to add to this. So this one right here, if we were to grade this, most of the time when people look at this, one of the requirements for this is you need to have all uppercase letters. And I didn't do that on this one, I forgot. And some of the things are lowercase letters. I have everything I need, and I have a couple of extra things. Okay, so if I were to grade this, even though the drawing is nice, it would be graded as a C-. Okay, now here's another example. This one is another drawing. I made it 3-dimensional. I colored it. I labeled it, and then I also added extra pattern around the outside of it so that you could see everything that's in it. I even labeled my house number as 911. And then I went to my floors, and on the floors, everything is uppercase letters. Things are filled in more. Obviously, I have more details in here, so it's a little bit easier to read. Second floor, I went through and I added all kinds of different things in it. And added in, obviously a pool and an elevator and a bedroom and things like that. And then I also added another floor, which is an extra that you can add. And so I added a bowling alley and a movie theater and, of course, a Diet Pepsi machine, very important, a pool table and foosball, and then I have an art studio. Now, when you're looking at this, it's way better than the first one. However, when we're talking about function, if you have 2 floors, first floor is the one you walk into, right when you walk in the door. Second floor is the one right above it. If I had a pool on second floor, unless it was a very, very shallow pool, the pool would go down into my first floor and I'd walk right into it. So functionally, that wouldn't work. So obviously, when I look at this, I'd probably say, okay, well, maybe I want to take the pool and I want to put it in the basement and swap the floors around. So one of the things you're going to want to think about is make sure you talk to other people and you get other people's opinions, because some of the things on function, you're not going to see it because you're looking at it all the time and you're drawing it. This particularly, I didn't see until a couple of students pointed it out to me, and I realized, oh, wait a minute, yeah, they're right. I didn't even think of that. So you want to keep in mind that you are going to be having other people's opinions and input. But you want to mess around with your designs and ideas so that you'll be able to keep changing it around. The main requirements are the front view, the floor plan, all capital letters, and then on the Schoology page, it tells you that you need a bedroom, a bathroom, a kitchen, an area to hang out, and at least 2 floors and a way to get between the 2.